How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the skins that have potential to make it in this next week. And in case you're new and don't know what that means, well, obviously 100-ish skins aren't going to be making it into the shop all in 1 week. That just would be crazy. So 8 to 10 or so are always picked by the game's lead dev, Helk, every week, and then pretty much it's moved on to the next set of skins every week. So that's kind of how it works, and for everyone else, let's just go jump on into it. So first up, we've got the Primal Burlap set for you. And yeah, this thing just has a nice kind of like made out of animal fur look to it. Definitely fits its namesake, has some nice little teeth going on, and is just altogether really solid burlap set. Next, we've got the Commander's military hat and bandana, and as you can see, there's some transparency here on the bandana. It has nice kind of like breathing holes going on for it. Then on the hat here, you see it's got bullets all around the edge and so forth. Definitely a nice little addition to the military set. A very simple idea, but it's straight out of Rust itself. The beach towel bandana. And yeah, you have the beach towels from the DLC, and this little bandana is, well, looks like it's just straight up made from one of them right there. Very simple idea, but something that is straight out of the game. Next, we've got a continuation of the Skull Force set, and this one is the bandana and poncho, and yeah, this just translates really well to cloth. It just really looks like it's carved hide, honestly, and then dyed, of course, dyed and carved hide. And they did a really good job at this. It really pops, it really stands out, and it translated really well from that kind of ivory look that the guns had to this carved, or maybe even burned hide. It doesn't really look as much burned, so I would definitely say it's more of a carved and dyed kind of look. Next, we've got some more frog goodness for you here with the frog poncho and bandana to go along with the frog wellies. So there you go. Now again, as I said in my last update video, it looks like Facepunch is making an actual wellies hat of some sort. It was in the commits, so I don't know if that lessens the chances here or maybe greatens it. We'll just have to see. I guess it all depends what they decide to do on their own. Next, bandana sets. You get it? Bandana, poncho, bandana. Yep, no, I was definitely messing up words, but one way or another, the Wild Hunter set is here for you, and it's a kind of more thinner cloth kind of look to it. Looks torn, worn, and the whole thing has a little jungle print or panther print, whatever you may want to call it, kind of thing going on with it right there. Next up, we've got the hemp hide shirt and pants, and yeah, the whole thing just kind of looks like you tried to hide yourself in a bunch of hemp leaves. And yeah, I don't know if it's a little too empty or, you know, one of those kind of things, but hey, one way or another, you could be all hemped out with this one. Alright, next up we've got another iteration of a hoodie and pants set, and yeah, this one here is, we saw a couple weeks ago in a different color, and now it's been done up with like a black and kind of like a pearlescent kind of thing going on. Now we do have already a lot of kind of sets like that. Now this is a lot more flat and not as flashy as those other sets like Chameleon and so forth, but I feel like it's a little too close to that, so this is probably another hit and miss for this design here. It's definitely a nice layout, but I think the colors still aren't quite right for this one maybe. Next up, we've got the Thunder Gold version 2 for the hoodie and pants, and this has kind of a lot more has changed with it. You actually have like the actual thunderbolts going through and over the belt. It's like it goes in, becomes a belt loop, and then continues on to the pants. And yeah, it's an interesting concept. They have some more of that kind of going on, and I don't know if that makes it look better or worse. What do you guys think? I think it looks really good here on the actual back, but I don't know about the front so much. Next, we've got a pretty unique jacket for you, the White Death jacket. There's also the Black Swan version as well, which, I mean, you can guess the differences. They come in black and white, but they just did this beautiful job of overlaying all of these individual feathers, and from what I understand, that is actually what they did, because, you know, you can't really make a feather texture out of what was there, so they had to make that by hand, and that's pretty impressive. This is definitely a very, very cool set. We've got the Legacy version 2 boots and gloves, and the gloves haven't really changed or anything, so we're just going to focus down on the gloves, which have... what? The gloves haven't changed, the boots have. And you'll see the boots kind of have this nice little design on the side now, and they look a little more rubbery. Laces have been done up differently. Still says Legacy right there on them, but yeah, they just have a little more of a sleek, kind of unique design to them. So we've got the Football Striker set, and this one comes in a red and white, so we went with the red helmet and the white chest piece, because honestly, mix matching them even looks pretty good. As you can see, they have a nice beat up and, you know, worn look to them. Definitely have seen some games. That Cobalt team looks like they went through some stuff. But there you go, the Cobalt 10 football team. Definitely a fun thing a lot of people have tried before, so hey, I don't know. Maybe eventually we'll see one of these kind of sports sets make it in. We've got the Cheddar face mask and chest piece, and yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen anything accepted past the, I think, 1 or 2 pieces there, so I don't know if we'll really see anything else past that, but they're definitely still going strong with making pieces to this one. At least we have the Flashbacks face mask and chest piece. You've got a little Born to Loot there. Very common looking plate carrier, as you can see right there. Face mask does have some kind of like sewing lines and so forth to break it up a little bit differently. You can also see some score marks up on the top there. And you've got your nice little ace card, Make Love, Not Raid. And the back does not have a peace symbol like the jacket did, in case everyone was wondering there. This week we have a ton of deployables, especially doors, so we're going to kind of tear through them a little bit if we can for the video's length's sake. But here we go, Neon Storage Box version 2. Neon Storage Boxes are one of the most pricey storage box sets out there, and people really want to see some of the small boxes come in, so it looks like the author is giving another try at it. Hopefully that means we might have a chance with it. Moving along, we've got the Oklahoma box. I hope I'm saying it right. One of you guys tried to help me pronounce it, and I don't have that comment in front of me, and that was the best from my memory, and I feel like I still messed it up. But there we go. We've got version 2 of the small box here with glow included. Then over here we've got the next piece in the secret cargo set with the Meds box from Legacy. Has such a beautiful design. I know that if there were to be a next box set, this would definitely be a great runner for the next one. Moving on, we've got Elite Crate version 3. So hey, once you kind of get to past version 2, and if it doesn't really come after that, it might be time to hang it up. So this is probably the last time we'll see a version for this one, but there it is, the Elite Crate version 3. Then over here we've got the Mimic large box. This comes in a glow and a non-glow version, and lots of extra teeth everywhere you look. If there aren't teeth, there's rusty looking nails. Then over here we've got the Cozy large wooden box to continue along with the Cozy collection, and the top reminds me a lot of the door, almost looks like panels were taken from the same door. Then over here we've got another Mimic for you with the Mimic chest by Trix. You can definitely see some of the stuff from his other sets in here, as you might remember from the Molten set. They just have that mean kind of fantasy look. Moving on to our furnaces, we've got ourselves a rocky one for you here with the Desert Stone furnace. Then, if we cruise on down, we've got the Clown furnace, and man, this thing is just absolutely freaky. I'm not terrified of clowns or anything, but I sure don't like creepy clowns. And there we go. Next, over here, we've got ourselves a bag of gold with the Lucky Gold furnace. Burlap sack and overflowing coins at the top. Definitely has a very westerny feel. Some coins are even slipping out of the cracks in the back there. Better watch out you don't drop them as you go. And if you look, there's kind of a bent horseshoe kind of right there for the opening of the furnace. Moving along, we've got the Golden Ancients artifact, and this thing is just a crazy looking furnace. Yes, you can see straight through it and the teeth and so forth. This is just a crazy one. I can see a lot of people wanting to grab this for their base just because of how unique of a fridge it is. Moving on, we've got some wooden doors. First one here is going to be the Door of Fears wooden door. Now, the arm does look a little bit big in comparison, I would say, to Rust characters, but hey, it could be a monster or something, so we'll just go with that. If you check out the back, there's the nub. I guess it didn't really do too well with its arm stuck in the door there. Next over here, we've got this door, and it almost looks like you could see through it, but it is just a nice shiny door, and well, it's called the Old Shine door, so I mean, hey, there you go. That just kind of fits right along with it. Moving on to our first of our sheet metal doors, we've got ourselves the Bad News door. Continuation with the Bad News set. Definitely looks like a nice print there on the door. Then we got ourselves the Labyrinth door. This one is very creative. A lot of people probably played one of these kind of games at some point in their life with a little ball in the chain and get it through the puzzle. And yeah, it's definitely a cool little idea. Moving on, we've got the wow door for you. And yeah, I don't know why it says wow, but it does. And maybe you'll be wowed from what's behind, or maybe it'll be a double barrel shotgun. You never know. Moving past that, we've got the scrap sheet metal door for you. This is definitely a very rusty one. Fits right in with all the scraps and bits taken from here and there, and a nice little neon light. Moving on, we've got another kind of pixely idea with the dots sheet metal door here for you. It looks like pixelated, but there's also kind of like a Lego thing going on, and yeah, it's just a little bit different, a little bit of everything. Moving along, the Armageddon sheet metal doors here with a pretty crazy looking dragon attached to it. Then we've got Cat Gang version 2 door. You can see it still has that kind of clay look, but much more kind of glossy. It almost still looks like the clay is wet even. Moving on, we've got the Crazy Creatures door. This comes in 4 versions. A aqua kind of green one, as you see here, then a red version, and then glow and not glow for both. Then moving on, I think everyone has seen one of these little play mats at one point in their life, or in a doctor's office, or even a TV show or something. This shape sorter metal door. Then we've got eyes all over the place with the monster door. Definitely has a very fleshy look to it. Very creepy. Moving along, we've got some golden art for you here with the sheet metal defender door. Then one last one here, we've got some more rust art for you with this Hazzy guy ready to start some trouble. And this here is going to be the metal mural door. Next up, we've got our garage doors. First up is the Soul Eater garage door by Durali. Then we've got some more art over here by Ariana with the Hazmatica garage door. Definitely love the idea behind that. It's just the different hazmat suits, and it's got like a Metallica kind of vibe going. I like it. Definitely very creative. Then, speaking of creativity and beauty, we've got this very, very awesome leap year garage door. Moving along, the Hillside Hazmat. Hazard Protection garage door. Very industrial. Then we've got some crazy red graffiti going on here with Neon Hellcat door. And another iteration here of the very familiar garage door. I believe we saw 2 weeks ago. Or, yeah, 2 weeks ago, I want to say. Radiation Camo garage door now. So now it is also camo and transparent. So there you go. They've also reduced the amount of writing on it. Then over here, we've got a little casino door for you with a slot machine garage door. Some more 8-bit art with the Blocky Rig garage door by Keck. Some more neon with the Neon Pizza by Shaft. And another neon with the Neon Phoenix garage door. Then we've got some armored doors for you here. This first one does come in 2 versions, a red and a green, and it's simply called the Neon Pipes door. So as you can see, it has kind of like, well, neon pipes literally going through it. And then it also has an open and close sign. Then we've got a very rusty door here for you with the rusty armored door. Very straightforward, very industrial, very rusty. Alright, and lastly we've got the Biohazard Armored Double Door. This thing has all sorts of green glow going on all around it. So let's kill the lights. And we'll take a look at either side here. Get the back side of that glow. Pretty much the same as the front on this one. And then we'll cruise on by our garage doors. Those eyes are definitely creepy at night. Then you can see those creatures really come out on this one. You got your dragon over here. And then we can cruise all the way down to our furnaces. None of them have any special glow from the back. Just some stuff from the front here, especially those creepy eyes. And pretty standard on that one. Then we'll go over our boxes. have it. Alright, next up we've got our tools and weapons. First off, we've got a crazy hammer called, well, the Bump Hammer. And yeah, there you go. It simply says bump on the back. It has this crazy face on. Next we've got the bonsai rock, and the whole thing looks like an ancient bonsai tree you just pulled right up out of the ground. Or its pot, however you want to think of that. Next we've got the inflatable tools for the stone tools, and they definitely look pretty good like the rest of the set, so I wouldn't be surprised to see these maybe pop in the shop, as we've seen a few of the other inflatable pieces make it in. Then we've got another set of stone tools with the mounting foam tools. Definitely a creative idea. We've seen some similar things done, and I'd say these are pretty well executed. And of course there's the matching pick. Next up, we've got one more set of tools for you here with the Celestial Ember hatchet and pickaxe. And these do look like they would glow, and they do have a very faint glow to them, actually, as you'll see right here. Then moving on, we got ourselves a bone knife for you. This has two versions. One was kind of like a cutout thing just to be the bone part, and unfortunately that whole kind of metal chunk right here is just missing, and it just looks a little too transparent, as you can see straight through it, and that's usually what Hulk says the cutoff is kind of with transparency. Next we've got a salvage sword, a very epic looking one with the snake sting. You can even see the poison at the end of the blade there, and the very beautiful cobra there with the jade in its mouth. Then, moving on, we've got the lava bow. This one comes in a glow and a non-glowing version. So as you'll see here, it has kind of a very nice molten look to it at night. Then, for some reason, that sword just keeps coming on out. But we've got the cop bow. And yeah, this is one we saw a long time ago. So this is technically a version 2, but it's been so long that it might not be quite remembered. As you can see, when lights turn off, the blue lights do actually light up there, and the red ones as well. Alright, next up we've got a crossy for you, and of course it is the Abyss crossy, if you couldn't tell already. And yeah, I think it translates pretty nicely on to the crossbow. Aiming down the sights, you can see there's some nice purple eyes staring back right at you. Next, we've got the Blackstone Sap for you. As you can see, it's, well, Blackstone, and on the Blackstone, it's got black sights on black sights, so there you go. Moving on, we've got some SMGs with the Imperial Thompson. This is going to be our first one here. Definitely has a nice, very carved look to it. Some skulls in there, very kind of regal look. Aiming down the sights, you've got a silver, kind of brighter, more polished tip against the kind of more gray, kind of less polished silver. And there we go for our reload. Next, we move on to our MP5s, and this one is the Nano Camo MP5. Like that, it has a nice rhyme to it, Nano Camo. Aiming down the sides, you have a black tip against the silver. Next, we've got the Oil Spills MP5, another continuation in what is now, I think, officially a set, as there are 3 or more pieces existing out there. Aiming down the sides, you have, well, oil spill on oil spill. I mean, that's pretty much what that one is there. Then moving on, our next MP5 is the Ancient Creature MP5. And yeah, it just has this kind of visceral, very blood red at the front. And then you've got these kind of golden, almost bronzy highlights going through it. Aiming down the sights, you've got a gold sight against the red ring. Then next up, we've got one more MP5 for you, and it's the Azure Mayhem. This one definitely has a very cool look to it. Has all of that kind of breakup with almost kind of like lightning cracks. I guess that's the Mayhem there, with the blue and the gold and the yellow. Definitely nice combination. Aiming down the sights, you do have a gold versus that shiny blue. Then we've got a SAR for you this week, and it is the Bismuth SAR. Always a very cool looking set. Definitely a nice translation to this piece. Aiming down the sides here, you do have a very kind of reddish almost tip versus the purpley back ones. Then we move on to our ARs, and this should look familiar as it is the Damascus AR. This is the version 2. As you can see, there's a lot more kind of clear space with almost a, I don't know, what is that? Plated steel? Not entirely sure. Diamond steel? I don't know, something like that. Then we have ourselves the prototype AR. And yeah, this has a very nice kind of future techie look to it. Even has soldering and random electronics popping out of it. Definitely does look like it is in the works. Aiming down the sights, you have a nice kind of gold and bronze tip. And a little robot kind of hanging out back there for you. Next on our ARs, we've got the Oculus. And this is a nice kind of drawn up, hand painted, with eyes and magenta drip kind of coming over the top of it there. Aiming down the sights, you have a blue tip to the magenta back. And there's that reload. Next, we have the Hello AR, and yeah, hello, that thing is jumping right out at you. Definitely has a very scrappy, kind of raidery feel to it. Those gold teeth even going on. Aiming down the sights, you've got another little skull popping out, and some faded red paint on the sights. Next AR is going to be the Cleanse AR, and this is part of the Cleanse set from Milo. Again, a very kind of clean, a little more future-y looking kind of design to the guns in this set. Aiming down the sights, you have very, very red sights with some black tips on the back. Then we've got the Dark World for you. This one here has a crow and some branches and a forest in the background. You can even see one of the monuments off there and an airdrop coming down. Aiming down the sides, another airdrop with some crows and a kind of like a bronze sight against the gold and the blue kind of silver there, I would say. Next, we've got ourselves the Swamp Hermit AR, and this is a very rusty old AR. Looks like it used to be pretty fancy looking, but has now been overgrown with some leaves and swamp plants. Aiming down the sides here, you see some more vines, a little crossed out dead face, and there's kind of like a different, there's a little bit of gold trim versus the silver and that kind of dull rusted color for the tip. Next, we've got one last AR for you, the Gamer AK-47. This has a very kind of retro look to it, very bright colors and almost neon-y looking. It has a little screen and everything. Aiming down the sides here, you do have a pink tip against the yellow and blue. Then we got ourselves a single LR. It is the Diamond LR. And yeah, man, it just has this really, really nice look. That cut diamond through what looks like an, tough kind of stone. Definitely a very sleek design. Aiming down the sides, you do have a red ring and tip against the black kind of stony color there. Last but not least, we do have a couple satchels for you. The first one here is meant to look like a code lock, and it is called the Unlocker Satchel. It does feature some green glow for that open code lock. And then since we pretty much just here right at the end, we'll just pull the last tube for you. This one here is obviously themed after the bandages in Rust. I think they did a really good job with the bandage satchel. And oh, we threw it. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, it's going to do its thing. And then last but not least, we've got the poker face satchel. There you go. It's got poker chip bean cans and a very imposing looking card box. So there we have that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Sound off down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping will make it in this week and why. I'll try to pass that info on to the right people as always. So stay rusty and have a good one.